On this video after close of trade Tuesday 15th of January 2013. Well, markets in no hurry to reverse and go the other way, but another kind of weak, no demand-ish type day. Although a lot of people trying to get short today, and they kind of got a little bit spooked by this move up. 65.50 was the close, about 1.0 million contracts traded, 10-point range. After another kind of compressed bar yesterday, about 7-point range. Big news today was Apple dropped through 500. It was toying with the 500 level and closed above it yesterday, but I think a lot of people overnight were freaked out by that, and kind of a lot of selling volume, closed at 485. You can see we kind of topped out on the weekly chart with a pullback to end of trend after flush patterns and a rainbow pattern right at the high up here. That was iPhone 5 release, and we've been selling off ever since. And the reason why this end of trend on the daily chart, it stopped us for a while. We had a little bit of a bounce here. We put in some bullish divergence and it bounced a little bit, but as soon as resistance kind of came in, it was heading back down just because we haven't had enough selling on the downside, and we're through support now on the weekly chart. So anyway, Apple's kind of getting interesting, and because this is starting to turn around such a big component of the Nasdaq and psychologically for the market, it's going to be have an impact as well. But today's activity was interesting. So although it was it was all the way up basically, a lot of people trying to get short all day, the net result on the adjusted trend value was just positive 25, which means although it was all up, it was a weak day. There was quite a lot of selling going on in there. And if you look at the oscillators, the trend oscillator, the put call ratio oscillator, we're kind of getting to overboard on put call ratio at positive 130, as positive 54 on the trend, and that's setting us up for a little bit of a bearish divergence here based on the last time we kind of came around. So when we get this little bit of a sell-off, that could mean that this next signal down on trend oscillator could be good. We covered the last one, just covered for a small loss after having a really nice little cluster of buy signals there. And the long-term charts, again, we're just playing around these highs. We've made our exhaustion signals on the 40,500, putting in bearish divergence. This was close to the zero line, so I'm always looking for a flush type pattern. And whether we get some kind of blow off into 1470s or just some activity where people are freaked out a little bit, and we kind of end up with a flush pattern, flushing out the last of the buys before this kind of turns around. On 13,500, we're just cycling around between these cyclical highs and lows. Today's activity, we start to see a bunch of blue professional bars at the highs with bearish divergence kind of coming in. And 4,500, again, you can see at the end of the day, a bunch here. So in terms of intraday trading today, I think it was a little bit tricky because we'd sold off overnight. We'd had our exhaustion buying blue professional bars into this high, and we just sold off all night. And then this morning we were kind of making lows. I thought there would be a continuation of the sell-off until we get exhaustion selling on the downside. So initially I was getting short, had to take a loss on my first trade, 1.5 points. Then when this blue professional bar kind of came in here, we broke the highs of that, got long at 60.25, but just took out a 0.5 point on the way up here before this blue professional bar kind of came in. And I think we hadn't seen exhaustion buying, but there was a lot of selling going on. You can see these exhaustion selling signals kind of down here and down here, even in this move. People were really trying to sell down hard, and the blue professional bars held us at this point here, and the market rallied. And even after we'd had our exhaustion buying here with a big reading, I think it was 19 or 20,000 on better momentum here, we did not have blue professional bars kind of coming at the highs. So I was looking for this as a potential short entry at that resistance where the first bearish divergence kind of comes in here. But because we hadn't seen blue professional bars, I didn't take it. Took the long trade as we came into this cyclical support. On 500 tip bar chart, it was a little pullback to end of trend sequence down here, and on the 4500 tip bar chart, it was bouncing off this resistance to become support, and these amateur bars kind of coming a little bit down here. So that was my best trade of the day, picking up 4 points of this into those blue professional bars where they're taking profits at the end of the day. But I suppose psychologically, when the market's just going against you, and I was trying to get short and waiting for the right kind of short entry, and when it never kind of popped up, kind of as a nice little pattern with blue professional bars at the highs, you just have to go against your kind of, it's not instinct or gut feeling, but it's what you want to do. Everybody was wanting to do that. Everybody wanted to short here. At this point here, we had extreme kind of selling heading down. Blue professional bars kind of came in and held at that point. Bang. They did look like they were taking profits into that pro-signal exit there, but when this held and went the other way, and then you had through this activity here, huge amount of selling. This reading was negative 12,000 on better momentum. A lot of people wanting to get short at this little high and kind of coming down, just didn't want to break. So I know it's just a tricky day today. There was net selling kind of going on, but that wasn't the trade to do. The trade to do was kind of go against what everybody was trying to do and kind of just go with the flow. So hope you trade well for me. 3.3 trades, but a lot of sitting around in my hands. I'll tag on this last one because that was a nice little trade and held it to the close. So we kind of ended the day with a whole bunch of blue professional bars kind of taking profits. At some point we will reverse around, but remember, bonds are weak, and so there's money flowing into equities at the moment. We'll see if Apple bounces, but I think that break below 500 is psychologically going to be really tough for the amateurs to kind of they're going to react to that. Maybe the professionals will pick it up from that kind of amateur panic that kind of goes on, but I think that could have an impact on the market going forward. Just see a little bit of weakness in these the oscillators. They're waiting to kind of flip over, and it was only a very modest reading on the adjusted trend value. Anyway, I'll tag on that day trade. Hope you traded well today. 350, long 63.50, and reason for going long is kind of the end of the day. 1:40 p.m. Chicago time. Not much longer to run, but just on the 500 tip bar chart, we've had pullback to end of trend, and we've had our exhaustion buying on the 1500 tip bar chart, but no blue professional bars at the highs here. So we've kind of found support on the 1500 tip bar chart here, and a little bit of amateur activity. That was definitely an amateur down bar, but then there was a lot of amateur activity kind of around here. You can see them here. We've got cyclical support kind of in due. This should come in at some point later on. We'll have pullback to end of trend. It was an area where we kind of held and broke out. So here we go, breaking to 64. So just hoping for a bit of a rush towards the end of the day, and then we'll see kind of blue professional bars kind of at the end of the day. I thought it's just long 63.50, breaking up to 64.5. High so far today 65.50, target 67.50, so it's a little bit of a long way to go, but we'll just wait and see. This was a big reading. It's about 17,000, I think it was, on better momentum. No, it was almost 20,000. So but it didn't come with blue professional bars at the highs, so it'll probably be a flush pattern or something like that when we get there on 1500, and that's what I'm looking for. But if we break above here, we'll have some areas where there are some professional kind of selling and targets getting hit, I'd have thought. So let's just wait and see where it breaks to. There we go, just about to break to 65. Had a little bit of retrace here. The blue professional bar kind of stepped in on that retrace. We're trying to get through this resistance level, so at 65 that'll take us into a little bit of an uptrend on the 500 tip bar chart. Here we go. This is kind of a little bit late in terms of crossing over. We'll have to wait till the next bar kind of closes to see how close that is. But it could be just a late kind of pullback to end of trend sequence on this, where we've got a trend move lining up with a cycle move on 45. Come on, let's get through 65s. Here we go. Previous high of 65.5. Got these blue professional bars kind of jumping the creek, kind of up here, swinter proper. Here we go, running those stops. Got proper trend going now on the 500. Don't know where it's going to stop in terms of where we got to yesterday. 66.5. It's kind of an area resistance. So target 67.5, but not seeing a blue professional bar here. 7,000 on better momentum, and a little bit of time to run. So let's keep holding. Hanging around these highs of 65, no blue professional bars kind of come in. We've got a cyclical turn kind of due on 1500, could go off here. But here we go. I think we're just going to have another run. So 65.5 was the previous high around here. We just ran it, I think, just by a quarter point. So not much running of stops yet. But so we need to try that again. And this previous high around here for yesterday was 67. So that's really important. And target's 67.5, so that's a good place to have a target. Going around, heading up 67 makes kind of sense in order to find some resistance there, because that's where we got it yesterday. So come on, let's get this going. It's 2 p.m. Chicago time. We're running those stops at the moment up to 66. Blue professional bar coming on 1500, first kind of one. Was kind of on the way up, but so I'm looking 7.5, so 66, only 2,000 on better momentum. Let's see what it is when this bar closes. Going to keep my target at that 67.5 just because of that previous high yesterday. There we go, another blue professional bar on the way up, 7,000 on better momentum. So it'll be this is the right spot. Just need another point up. We've still got pullback to end of trend to make on the 500. So come on, keep on going. Just coming up to 67s. Got exhaustion on 500, 7,000, 7,000 on better momentum on 1500. No pullback to end of trend yet. It's just slowed down momentarily, but this is kind of important. First blue professionals we've seen since this little pullback area here. So come on. Let's hit it. I've just been sitting, waiting on this retrace. A couple of amateur down bars, blue professional bar kind of comes in. We haven't got a cyclical support in on pullback yet, but we're having another go. 67 is such an important number. Just initially bounced off it, which will be kind of a technical point. Yeah, coming back down. It'll get through. Just a little kind of blow off move. So that's all I'm trying to pick off. So this didn't end up being a flush on 1500, interestingly. So I think we've got another little bit of burst of volume potentially. So let's see. Just waiting and waiting for that. It's 2:15 p.m. Just got there. Still holding on. Not bearish divergence here. It's only 0. Better momentum here on 1500. I thought we'll have another go. Anyway, we just barely got through it. It's 67.25. Come back down quite heavily, but we'll hit it again. There'll be another blue professional bar coming on 4,500. So just holding out. Couldn't get there this time. 67.25. Little Rambo pattern. A little bit of weakness. Got bearish divergence. 8,000. It sells off quite a bit each time it kind of comes down. So 67 is kind of key number. 8,000 on better momentum here. We've still got to make pullback to end of trend, so I'm still going to hold for it. 226 gets later and later, but and I know this resistance is in, but just feels like it wants to just do a final, exhaustion move properly, but didn't make it that time. Come on. And another go. We got cyclical support kind of due on 500. Had a little bit of exhaustion, bearish divergence, and flush kind of come in, so we're at the latter end of this kind of move up on 500, but the support will give us pullback to end of trend, so we just need to crack it. Come on. We're just out, 67.5, finally. And it's happening just as we had pullback to end of trends kind of going off here. Another blue professional bar on 1500 tip bar chart, so it's the right place to be out. 9,000 on better momentum. Which could be a flush pattern kind of going off here, so a little bit of a spike above this resistance. Anyway, it's closing on the highs today. It's been one of those lows made overnight and we just rallied all day, so happy to be out.